Hitting out for the Junior Blues, number 6, Kyle Frederickson. Marcelo.
Between the hashes at the 40-yard line as Bussy and Wilkie wait deep in the north end zone. Frederickson puts his right hand up, runs up to the ball, and we are underway in week 4 here in the capital city. And an excellent kick, a sidewinder by Frederickson, flies into the end zone for a touchback, and Junction City will take over at its own 20-yard line, led by starting quarterback Andrew Corey, one of the best quarterbacks in the state. 767 yards passing and 5 touchdowns on the season. Last week, completed 14 of 25 for 195 and a touchdown in a win over the Seaman Vikings. Up front blocking for Junction City tonight, Seitu Tuala, Chris Owens, Anson Jacobson, that's your left side center. Logan Nabis and TJ Osa, your right guard and right tackle. As we just mentioned, Marcelo Bussy and Russell Wilkie, wide receiver and running back in the starting formation, along with fullback DJ Giddens, one of the league's leading rushers this season. He is flanking Corey to the left on this first play. And it is a botched snap, some confusion, and a recovered fumble by Corey on the first snap of the game. DJ Giddens goes in motion, and the ball bounces off of him and bounces to the ground. Corey's lost on 1st and 10.
Yeah, I think just a little short. I think Corey pulled out just a little bit, and it might have hit the receiver as well, but nonetheless, not a good start for Randall Zimmerman's offense.
It was officially a loss of 2 on the fumbled snap. Now trips to the right side, 2nd down. It's another handoff, this time to Giddens, and he is swarmed in the backfield and dropped for a loss. All the way back to the 15-yard line. Another loss of 3. And Greg, we heard it from Steve Bueller during the pregame show. This Washburn Rural defense has taken a lot of pride in their run stopping recently.
Yeah, now it's going to be a 3rd and long, no huddle. So Washburn Rural is going to have to line up quickly. And you've got this passing game that can well not have a problem getting this first down.
Corey in the shotgun, flank to his right is Giddens. Snap to Corey, he bootlegs to the right, gets outside the hashes, now looks deep down the right sideline, he's got him in, wide open, it's Marcelo Bussy at the 42! He's got a bunch of green grass in front of him, he's eventually chopped down at the Washburn Rural 35. Bussy runs screaming wide open down the right sideline, Corey hits him in stride for a big gain. First down, Junction City, call it at the 34 of Washburn Rural.
49 yards on the reception. Boy, once he got by Bradstreet, there was no help from the safety, and Bussy left all alone. You cannot do that. That's why that big chunk makes it, 51 yards on the game. My mistake there. 51 yards on the reception for Bussy.
Trips left, wide side of the field on 1st and 10 for Junction City. It's a sprint option left for the Blue Jays, but a flag comes in and the play won't count. See what the penalty is. It's a dead ball penalty for an offsides against Washburn Rural, benefiting the offense.
Boy, Bradstreet, he absolutely thought he was going to have safety help because once Bussy got by him, didn't even go with him, but nobody was there, and it was wide open for that big reception.
10-13 to go in the first. No score. Junction City with the ball on the near side right hash as the Blue Jays move from left to right across your radio dial. 2 wide receivers left, 2 to the right, and now motion from Russell Wilkie. It is a sweep handoff to Wilkie as he goes to the left, gets spun around and down at the 25-yard line, and an offensive lineman for Junction City is slow to get up. That's the starting center, Anson Jacobson, 6 foot 235 senior, and he is able to get up with just a little bit of help, and he is going to head off to the sideline. He checks out, and his backup, sophomore Logan Lindsley, is right back in after a gain of 4 on first down.
And now they're lacking 1 personnel, so they got to get a receiver to come in.
2nd down and 1 for Junction City as Trey Goggins heads into the game. He's now in the slot to the right. Isolated receiver, Bussy outside to the right as well. Hand up to Giddens. He starts up the middle, bounces out to the right. He's got the first down and more, chugging all the way down to the 15-yard line. A gain of 10 on an inside shotgun handoff, and Junction City continues to move the ball. It is now 1st and 10 for the Blue Jays from the 15. 9:08 to go in the first.
Yeah, it was a good run off that right tackle. behind Nabus and Osa. They opened that hole, sealed it off, going just outside the tackle for looks like officially a 9-yard gain.
Corey in the gun. Heavy set with him. It's a sweep handoff going to the left to Giddens. Giddens stiff arms one tackle, gets to the outside, gets back to the 15, and he is eventually gang tackled and brought down. Put out the stiff arm on the junior linebacker Connor Conklin, but doesn't get much beyond him, and it is a short gain on first down on the ground. Let's get you some of the starters for this Washburn Rural defense while we have a moment. Mentioned Conklin, sophomore Ty Weber, along with senior Kean Beasley and outside linebacker Austin Fager, who had a key interception last week. Up front, Eric Schnurr, Jaden Jansen, and Brent Ashwill make up the defensive line. Landon McEwen, David Dean, Robbie Bolin, and Davion Maltzby, your starting secondary. Now on 2nd down and 8, Junction City with a screen pass to the right side, and Wilkie. Flag comes in near the play as Wilkie cuts back to the middle, gets a few extra yards, and dives ahead to about the 6-yard line. But we'll have to see what the flag is behind the play.
And it was a hold against Junction City. And it looks like that's going to be just behind the line of scrimmage.
Flag landed at the 16-yard line.
And since that actually was a lateral, that's going to end up being on that play by Wilkie.
So after they reset the ball, it is now back at the 26-yard line. And they will call it a 2nd down and about 20 from the 26 following the penalty. Shotgun snap. It's another sprint option left. He keeps it this time, turns it upfield, gets inside the 15, and angles his way down to about the 14-yard line. So a good carry that time by the quarterback, Corey, sprinting to the left. 12 on 2nd and 20, setting up a 3rd down and 8, 7.5 minutes or so left in the first. Still no score in this one.
On that read option, Corey had all sorts of room to run because the cornerback had the outside contained, but no one had Corey as far as responsibility is concerned. That's why he was able to get a good chunk of that yardage back.
3 receivers right, including Bussey. 1 receiver isolated left is Goggins. Giddens in the backfield. Corey takes the snap. He looks for running room, tries angling to the left, and he is wrapped up and dropped for a gain of about 1.5 yards at most. So it is 4th down and call it 6 with no score and 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And it's a big decision time early on here, Greg, for Randall Zimmerman and the Blue Jays.
I don't see them moving to get their special teams or to get a kicker in. So they're going to go for it. They can get the first down. So it's about 4th and 6. You need to get it just inside about the 6.5 yard line.
Corey in the gun. Once again, Giddens flanks him to the right. 1 isolated receiver, Goggins left. Corey rolls right, throws underneath, completes it to Bussey. Bussey turns upfield, has the ball popped out near the goal line. There's a mad scramble for the ball in the back of the end zone, and it is a touchback after the recovery by Washburn Rural. The Junior Blues defense stands in a scoreless game, 6:25 to go in the first, and they are able to Junction City out of the end zone.
Boy, Jake, that was a big hit by the defense.
It was perfect timing, too. No joke, that had to have been 1/2 yard away from the goal line. If he would have stretched out to try to get his hands across the goal line, I think it would have ended up being a touchdown. We're talking mere inches away from being a touchdown. Ball pops out, and I thought it might have gone out into the back of the end zone, which would have been a positive for the Junior Blues, as that would have been a touchback. But it was 2 individuals. I think it was Wilkie who was trying to jump on it at the end, but what a great play at the goal line for the Junior Blues.
5 minutes, 35 seconds off the clock on that drive, and no points for Junction City. Now on first down for the Junior Blues, senior quarterback Cooper Carlgren keeps the ball and has a nice run. It's a read option for the senior. He angles the run off to his right, gets up to the 25-yard line, and gains 5 yards on first down.
Not a bad way to start. And boy, Brendan, we talked about getting off to a good start, creating a turnover. That's one way to do it. Even though they were inches away from scoring, they did not, and they get the ball back.
Corey in the gun. 2 wide receivers left, and off to his left is running back McKentis Adams as well. Adams is going to take the handoff on second down, and a flag comes flying in. It's a short gain, but Greg, I think a face mask call is coming against that front line for Junction City.
Yeah, absolutely. When you see a helmet twist like McKentis Adams' helmet did, you're going to tack on 15 yards there off the run. No gain on the play. but they're going to get 15 yards on a face mask.
Yeah, it was an obvious one. We could see all the way up here from the press box. And they officially make the call now. So that will bring the Junior Blues way up the field. And we'll set up the offense with another 1st and 10. Still scoreless here in the first quarter. Rest of the starters for the Junior Blues offense: Robbie Bolin and Adrian Tibbetts, the starting wide receivers. Josh Williams in the slot. Lucas Hampshire, tight end H-back. Austin Fager and McKentis Adams will handle the running back duties. Schnurr, Vandervoort, Soria, Jansen, and Franco are your offensive linemen from left to right. Clock continues to tick down, under 5:40 to go in the opening period. 2-by-2 set for the Junior Blues. Ball on the far right hash. Another RPO. We're looking down the field. Carlgren's going to chuck it. He's got a man open. It's Tibbetts. Tibbetts on the left numbers. Gets the catch at the 30-yard line and is pushed ahead up to the 27. Carlgren keeps it again on the read option. Throws it deep against the grain and is able to hit Tibbetts with a big gain. First down, Washburn Rural.
34 yards on the play. That was a great call on first down. Off that read option, thrown against his body. But Tibbetts able to get away from his defender. Had about 2 steps on him. Boy, that's exactly what they wanted. I thought that was the perfect call on that first down play.
Entering this game, Tibbetts had just catch for 10 yards on the season. He's now got 2 for 44. First down, it's another handoff up the middle. McKentis Adams, he waits patiently for a hole, sprints up the middle, and gets to the 20-yard line. Great run that time by the sophomore Adams. Call it a gain of 6 officially. They'll mark the tail of the ball at the 21. Second down and 4 for the Junior Blues.
Yeah, doing a good job. Good pace. Not a quick pace, but a good pace here, keeping them in rhythm offensively.
2 wide receivers stacked to the left. Adams in the backfield. High snap to Carlgren. He keeps it, and he is spun down and thrown down in the backfield for a big loss. Excellent play that time by Corey O'Connor. The sophomore outside linebacker comes up and makes the tackle in the backfield. And now 3rd down and long for the Junior Blues. Ball is marked back at the 26-yard line. It's a loss of 5.
Yeah, good job by O'Connor. He came off that blitz. He was coming regardless, you could tell, and he just absolutely blew that play up. Really nowhere for Carlton to go, but now a very big 3rd down here for the Junior Blues.
Ball at the 26. Line to gain is the 17. Carlgren in the gun. 2-by-2 set. It's another sweep handoff going to the left. It's Adams, and Adams is dropped. The ball pops out late, but the play was called down first. Xavion Felton makes his 24th tackle of the season from his weak side linebacker spot, and it forces a 4th down for the Junior Blues. Giles Fredrickson, the place kicker, out on the field for a long field goal attempt with the ball at the 24-yard line following a 2-yard carry. That's a 41-yard field goal attempt coming for Fredrickson.
And he's got the wind behind him, though.
Fredrickson gets ready. Low snap. The hold is up. The kick by Fredrickson, end over end, and it is pure. What a kick by Fredrickson to put the first 3 points of the game on the board. 3:23 to go in the first. Washburn Rural takes a 3-0 lead over Junction City. We'll take a break. Be back after this on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
#51 Southwest Argonia Place. All station rules apply. For more information on engaged in quarantine with the Big 94.5 Country, visit 94country.com.
Junior Blues 3, Blue Jays 0 as Washburn Rural's Giles Fredrickson takes another ball all the way out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. 3:23 to go in the first. Washburn Rural defense back out on the field. Fredrickson just put the first points of the game on the board with a 41-yard field goal. And, Greg, they let Junction City get down the field, but the Junior Blue Wild Punch defense does a great job keeping them out of the end zone on their last drive.
Yeah, cause the turnover. You get points off turnovers. How big is that for any team, and especially against Junction City? And they start this game with the lead, 3-0.
First down coming up for the Blue Jays. Quarterback Andrew Corey back out on the field. He's got 3 receivers to the left, ball between the hashes. 1 receiver to the right. That's Marcelo Bussey, who fumbled the ball on 4th down on the last Blue Jays possession. Giddens is the running back to the left of Corey. Snap to him. It's a bootleg left on the design. He pumps once. Now he's going to throw it deep down the right side of the field. He's got a man, and he was looking for Russell Wilkie down the left sideline.
Flag.
It was a little underthrown, and there is a flag at the 39-yard line. The ball came to a stop on the turf at about the 45.
They're going to get a hold or an interference over on that right side.
Waiting for our official call from head referee Bruce Andrews.
And it's on the far side of the field, so.
And they are going to call pass interference against Washburn Rural. Landon McEwen, the senior corner, the guilty party that time. So they will mark off the yardage from the Junction City 20 all the way up to the Junction City 35-yard line. In high school, it's a 15-yard penalty for defensive pass interference, and that is a tough one for the Junior Blues. Sometimes, Greg, those underthrown balls can be a real catch-22 for defensive backs.
Yeah, especially, it more than likely it'll get you tied up with the receiver, and unfortunately, they got dinged for that one being called a DPI.
Trips bunch right for Junction City on 1st and 10. Corey sprints to the right. Now he's looking deep for Wilkie again. To the right shoulder at the 35. He's got wide open green grass in front of him. 10-5 touchdown, Junction City. A 65-yard bomb from Andrew Corey to Russell Wilkie right down the right sideline. And the Junction City Blue Jays respond quickly, going up 6-3 over Washburn Rural.
Yeah, they pick on once again. Like David Dean was the one that Wilkie was able to get by, and boy, that's the second time they're able to get by him. And perfect pattern. They obviously saw something that they liked, ran it, executed it, and they got their first touchdown.
Kick attempt coming from Aiden Field, the place kicker for Junction City. He boots it straight through the uprights, and in just 16 seconds, Junction City scores for the first time today and takes over Washburn Rural 7-3. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Join us Saturday, October 24th, for this year's virtual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 5K walk. Every step you take honors breast cancer survivors and shows anyone touched by breast cancer that they won't have to face their diagnosis alone. Every step helps to raise awareness and money to fund research. For more information on how to track your steps for this year's virtual 5K walk, visit any Alpha Media website.
Welcome back to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Brzezinski and Greg Akagi with you. Junction City with a 65-yard touchdown to take a 7-3 lead over Washburn Rural. Kickoff from Aiden Field of Junction City. It's a squibber. The ball is loose on the return. It's kicked all over the place. The Blue Jays say they have it back at the Washburn Rural 30. They're jumping all over. A Blue Jay comes out of the pile with the ball, and Junction City takes over. A devastating break for Washburn Rural, and the Blue Jays are in business again in plus territory. 3:01 to go in the first, already leading 7-3.
Yeah, I think that was Lucas Hanks who tried to pick up the ball. Only problem is he just bent over from his waist, tried to pick it up, could not. The ball kicked away. Fall on it. If you cannot get it cleanly, just fall on the football, and it cost Washburn Rural big.
Blue Jays offense right back on the field. Ball centered between the hashes, moving from left to right as you listen. Giddens, the running back, to the left of Corey. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Corey. Pop pass, moving to his left, throws it behind his intended target as he was rolling left. He threw it a little bit too far in that direction for his crossing receiver, and it falls incomplete. He's not able to hook up with Bussey. 2nd down and 10 from the 30 coming up for the Blue Jays.
Boy, Bussey had inside position too. Going on a singular. The safety wasn't over there. And boy, that could have been some big yardage, but not a good throw there by Corey.
2nd down and 10, under 3 to go in the first. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. That's Trey Goggins. It's Wilkie and Christian Tabora to the right, and now motion in that direction for Marcelo Bussey. Corey this time boot right. It's a short boot, throws it back underneath, and he misses this one behind the receiver. However, Tabora, the intended target, said that was on him as he slipped on the route. 3rd down and 10 coming up for Junction City, and another big moment for the Washburn Rural defense.
Yeah, boy, this is key right here. With all the momentum swung big time towards Junction City off the long pass for the touchdown and the recovery on the kickoff. Well, you need to stop right here, and especially if you do, you would think it'd be outside of any field goal range.
Still 4 receivers in the formation for the Blue Jays. 3 are on the right. Goggins tight left. Corey barks out the signal. Takes the snap. It's another design bootleg left. Now he has to fade back. Continues running to the sideline. Falling back. Throws it deep down the field. It is batted away. Incomplete. Junior safety Robbie Bolin comes up and bats it away. 4th down and 10 for Junction City. So after the miscue on the kickoff, Greg, a great job by the Washburn Rural defense to make a stand and force a 4th and long.
Yeah, 4th and long, and you're in a territory here where it's 4-down territory. So they're going to get one more play here to try and get him to stop. It would be a big stop for this Washburn Rural defense.
Junction City up 4, 2:47 on the clock in the opening period. It's been an eventful start to this game, kind of in no man's land in terms of field goal range, so the Blue Jays will go for it. Same formation. Corey takes a high snap. Pressure comes from the right. He scrambles slightly right. Gets hit as he throws. A short pass is picked off. Another phenomenal play by the Washburn Rural defense. It is taken away, and Washburn Rural will take over. I have to get clarification on who actually ends up with that ball. The player in question is wearing number 10. We do not have a roster with a number 10 on it. But Washburn Rural nonetheless takes over after an interception.
Yeah, they ran a corner blitz, and I think it might have, well, actually linebacker blitz. I think that was Fager who ran that and got pressure on Corey, really got in his grill, which forced him to try and almost jump to get that pass to go.
That ball was picked off right back at the original line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10 from the 30 for Washburn Rural. Carlgren keeps on another RPO, starts running left, now heads back to the right, gets out of an arm tackle, jukes another one. A lot of effort that time from Carlgren as he ends up outside the right hashes for a short gain on a 1st down carry by the quarterback.
Yeah, that was a lot of effort right there. He thought he could get something going back against the grain, but manages the key word there to get a 2-yard gain.
So a short pickup on 1st and 10 for the Junior Blues. All now at the 32-yard line on the far right hash. Blues moving from right to left as you listen, headed toward the north end zone. 2 receivers split out way wide on the near side, wide side of the field. Wing and a receiver to the right. Carlgren takes a snap, stands in the pocket, short drop, throws it outside, hits Josh Williams. Williams makes the catch at the 35, turns around, squirts up ahead to the 39-yard line. And that is a solid gain of 7 yards, setting up a 3rd down and 1 for the Junior Blues.
Yeah, nice throw. Little comeback pattern. Williams able to get it. Slipped a bit, otherwise he might have gotten the 1st down. Now a chance to get that offense back into the rhythm.
Important rhythm throw that time for Carlgren, who's completing just 49% of his passes on the year. 3rd down and 1. Handoff up the middle. McKentis Adams breaks 1 tackle, gets enough for a 1st down for Washburn Rural up to the 42-yard line. A gain of 3 on 3rd down and 1, and the chains move for the Junior Blues with 80 seconds to go in the 1st.
Yeah, that was second effort right there by McKentis Adams. Broke through 1, broke through 2 tackles, but stayed on his feet. Knew where he had to get the 1st down, and indeed he did with that 2-yard gain.
Rural down 7-3, scored first here in this 1st quarter with a 41-yard field goal by Giles Fredrickson. Junction City answered right back with a 65-yard touchdown 1 play later. 1st and 10 for the Junior Blues at the 42. Throw to the outside right side. That ball is caught by Robbie Bolin. He is dropped near the far right sideline at the 47. So a gain of 5 through the air. And Greg, again, can't emphasize this enough. Carlgren has struggled with the accuracy so far this year. So to get him some short passes, get him in a rhythm, get him some confidence, that's a big move for this Junior Blues offense.
Yeah, he feels better. He's more confident to do that. And then when they want to spring something long, he'll feel a lot more confident.
27 seconds left in the quarter, and we've got movement along the lines. It looks like an offside penalty against Junction City. And they will tack off 5 more. Corey O'Connor already has 1 big tackle for loss in this game, but he now makes a mistake, and that will bump the Junior Blues up 5 yards, which is enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, he's lucky even on the previous play. He jumped, but it was early enough. He was able to get back, but not this time as he's called for the penalty. And it also gets Washburn Rule a first down.
Clock is ticking down to 10 seconds left in the quarter. Junior Blues just milling around, and it looks as though Washburn Rural will be content to go into the second, trailing by 4, but moving the ball. Junior Blues have it at the Junction City 48. Junction City leading Washburn Rural, though, after 1, 7-3. We'll take a quarter break, come back in just a minute. You're listening to the Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
I have a junior, Hope, and
Welcome back to the Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Katagi with you in the booth. Washburn Rural with the ball at the Junction City 48-yard line, trailing by 4. And on first down, a sweeping left handoff to the sophomore McKentis Adams. Cuts up the field, gets between the hashes, and is dropped after a gain of 3 at the 45-yard line. Washburn Rural started this game with the lead, scoring on its first offensive possession with a 41-yard field goal, but then gave up a 65-yard touchdown on the first play of the next drive for Junction City, and that brings us to our second quarter score of 7-3 Blue Jays. Now 2nd down and 7 for Washburn Rural. Carlgren in the gun, 2x2 receiver set. He looks right, fires to the sideline. It's completed to Bolin at the 39-yard line, puts his knee down immediately. That's a gain of 6, and once again, for the second time on this drive, 3rd down and 1 for Washburn Rural.
52 yards passing now for Cooper Carlgren. 4 of 4, though. Washburn Rural, 58 yards of total offense in the first quarter.
McKentis flanking Carlgren to the right in the gun. Ball on the near right hash. Junior Blues moving from left to right as you listen. Now Adams flips to the left. 2x2 receiver set again. Carlgren takes the handoff. Bubble screen to the outside, looking for Josh Williams, and he threw it over his head. Carlgren, maybe a little antsy on that throw, just lofted it over the top of Williams, who stands just 5'9". And now with 10:52 to go until halftime, 4th and 1 for the Blues.
Yeah, one of the assistant coaches for Washburn Rural just kind of put his hands to his head, knowing they could have gotten something there, or at least got the first down, and knowing that that was, like you said, right on the dot, Brendan. Just got a little antsy and threw it right over their head.
Rural adds a little size on this 4th down and 1. They're keeping the offense out there. H-back Lucas Hanks back into the game. He's a wing to the left. Snap to Carlgren. It's a give to Adams, and Adams only gets back to the 40-yard line. He'll lose a yard, and Washburn Rural cannot convert on 4th down and 1. An excellent stand up front by the defensive line for Junction City, led by Rudy Vargas, Judah Peterson, Elijah Clark-Boyd, and that is a turnover on downs for Washburn Rural.
That wasn't one of the defensive linemen that got penetration. That was about 4 of the Junction City linemen that got penetration. No, absolutely no chance for Adams to get those yardage because they got by on great penetration. So give credit up front to that Blue Jays defensive line.
They're going to say he actually lost 2 yards on that carry all the way to the 41. That's where Junction City will take over. 10:47 to go until halftime, already leading 7-3.
Boy, in this secondary, right now their confidence level can't be very high for Washburn Rural, since that what Junction City has been able to do with them so far.
3 receivers right. That is the wide side, far side of the field. Snap to Corey in the gun, and we've got a whistle right away. Flags come in on the snap, and our officials will deliberate and let us know what the infraction is this time. It is a procedural penalty against Junction City, so the Blue Jays will move back 5 yards to their own 36, now facing a 1st down and 15.
4th penalty of the night for 35 yards for Junction City.
The most significant penalty so far, the pass interference midway through the first quarter that set up the 65-yard touchdown for the Blue Jays. Corey looks to the sideline, same formation for his offense, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. DJ Giddens in the backfield, and now we've got another whistle, and it's an official stoppage along the far sideline.
Randall Zimmerman's not happy about something.
And they need to reset the play clock. So some confusion there. Things slow down, but now the Junction City offense gets right back into their set. The play clock ticks down from 25, and we are underway once again. Corey, make sure all of his players know the play. Once again, same formation, ball in the near hash. Corey takes the snap, boots to the left. It's a quarterback keeper, and he is stuffed right at the 35-yard line. Penetration up front led by Eric Schnurr. The 6'2", 345 senior end just bursts the line, hits Corey, and it is a loss of a yard on 1st and 15.
Boy, no chance there. Schnurr right there to plug that hole. Big man along that offensive front doing his job there for Washburn Rural.
Same formation on 2nd and 16 for Junction City. Corey takes the snap, rolls to his right. He's looking down the field. He's got a man deep, has to evade some pressure, just gets the throw away, and he throws it incomplete along the right sideline, tosses it at the feet of Russell Wilkie. Excellent play that time by Keon Beasley coming from the left side of the formation to create pressure, nearly sacks Corey and still forces an incompletion.
Yeah, and that's what Washburn Rural needs to do. Get pressure on Corey. They've proven that he's not accurate. Second, I think, quarterback hurry that they have had and a couple of quarterback knockdowns. That's what this Washburn Rural defense needs. Another big play here early on in the second quarter.
3rd and 16, Junction City up 4. Corey rolls right in the shotgun snap, winds up, throws deep down the right sideline, and he just overshoots his target along the right numbers. He was throwing it all the way deep down the field for Marcelo Bussey, who already has a 65-yard grab in this one, but Corey put just a little too much on it. It falls incomplete, and it's 4th and 16 for the Blue Jays.
Boy, he was up against Davion Maltsby, but you can tell the speed of Bussey because he basically sprinted away. If he's able to get that, that is 6 because he got the separation from Maltsby on about that last 10 yards.
9:59 left in the first half. First punt of the game coming for either side. It's DJ Giddens to send it away for Junction City. Low snap, puts a right boot into it, end-over-end kick, and a good one. It is going to fly all the way back to the 13-yard line, take a gigantic hop all the way into the end zone. A tremendous punt that time, a net of 45 yards, and the Junior Blues will start from their own 20. Jake, it has been an excellent effort so far from the defense for Washburn Rural.
If you think about it, look what Manhattan did to this Junction City offense. They put up 30-some points. Pretty impressive effort right now, especially by the Washburn Rural defensive line. I would expect Junction City to throw the football a little bit more. You saw Bussey. He did. He beat his man. It was just overthrown him. That is due to the wind. How about that, though? When you look at this, maybe Junction City's offense does a little bit better into the wind, but, man, you can't be more impressed with the Rural defense.
2-by-2 set with motion on 1st and 10 for Washburn Rural. It's a quick throw to the outside and a completed pass for the Junior Blues. Carlgren hooks up with Amir Sabarini. 5'11" sophomore makes the catch along the near side right sideline. He stopped at the 24.5. Will be favorable. Call it a gain of 5 on 1st and 10.
Trying to get misdirection, and Amir Sabarini able to get that short gain, but that's what they've been living on so far.
Washburn Rural trailing 7-3. The D story in this one. Now 2nd down and 5, ball in the near right hash. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Carlgren, short drop, now throws back to the sideline to Bolin, who slides down baseball style, makes the catch right at the 30. That is precisely enough for a first down. Junior Blues move the chains again. Carlgren has only missed once so far in this game. A lot of short passes, Greg, but they've been working effectively.
Yep, 62 yards on 6 of 7 on the day. Bolin, his favorite target so far, 3 receptions for 16 yards.
Junior Blues switch up the formation. Now Hanks switches from a left wing to a right wing. Adams still the featured back to the left of Carlgren. 2 receivers left, 1 right, ball in the near hash. Carlgren takes a high snap, takes a handoff. He'll angle his run out to the right, gets to the 30, runs right for the sideline where he gets wrangled, held up, and thrown down. And it is a short gain on the 1st and 10 carry.
And it's going to come back, too. There was a flag thrown just about a yard ahead of the line of scrimmage, a hold against Washburn Rural.
Out ahead of the play, trying to make some room for the quarterback keeper. And instead, it will back things up for the Junior Blues.
And I think they're going to get a wide receiver who is trying to seal off that outside, and they're going to get that for a hold.
So officially a loss of 9 after the penalty. It was a 1-yard gain on the run for Carlgren. The ball is backed up to the 21-yard line. 8:18 to go in the first half. 3 receivers left this time for Carlgren in the offense. He takes the snap. Short drop, looks over the middle, tosses a little bit behind his intended target, Williams, back over the middle of the field, and he's not able to haul it in. 4 different Blue Jays were in the area to make a hit. If Williams had held on, he cannot. And that brings up a 2nd down and long, 19 officially for the Junior Blues.
This may be where you have a draw, sprint draw, delay, a jet sweep, something like that would be a good call here in this 2nd and long.
Ball still on the near right hash. Junior Blues headed to the south end zone. Snap to Carlgren. Another short drop in the pocket. Throws to the outside. This time he's able to complete the throw. Another short gain. It's Williams on the catch. Gets beyond the 20. A little bit slow getting up, and it is very little on the gain. A favorable spot will give him 2 yards on the pickup. So 3rd down and a mile now for Washburn Rural. 3rd and 17, under 8 to go until halftime. Long way to go for the Junior Blues offense. Junction City trying to hold once again. Forced a turnover on downs the last time these 2 units were on the field. And with this 3rd and 17 and a 4-point ball game, 2 receivers now line up to the right, as does the wing Hanks. McKentis Adams running back to the right. Carlgren takes the snap. Boots to the right. Throws back across his body. It's a wobbler over the middle of the field, and he throws it over the head of Adrian Tibbetts. That was a dangerous throw from Carlgren. He didn't have a good grip on the ball. Throws a wobbler, and it's incomplete. But a plot twist here is we have a flag on the far sideline. Junction City players are clapping after the laundry comes down, and it is an ineligible man downfield for the Junior Blues. And Washburn Rural with its 2nd penalty of the drive. This one won't be except 17 with 7:20 to go until the break. Punt out for the first time, led by Dayton Smoot for the Junior Blues.
Yeah, for Smoot, this is going to be important. He's punting into the wind, so you can't really think trying to get a high punt because it'll get caught in the wind. You're going to have more of a lower trajectory.
As Jake mentioned pregame, a blustery night here in Southwest Topeka. 2 return men back for Junction City, standing right at midfield as Smoot gets ready for the punt. Low snap, gets a boot into it. Line drive wobbler, bounces at the 49, takes 1 more yard to the 50. It's picked up on the outside, and a good return by Javon George, who raced past the 45 up to the 40. Gets just beyond the 40, and a flag comes flying in late in the play, all the way from the back judge. So a good return that time by George. Well, let's see where field position will end up for the Blue Jays after the late penalty. Some more deliberation from our officiating crew here at Bowen Glaze Stadium. Still trying to figure out what the penalty is. 7:08 on the clock. 7-3 lead for Junction City. We are still awaiting word on the penalty. The Washburn Rural defense is already out on the field. And it is a procedural penalty against Washburn Rural that is declined. Then another additional penalty for a personal foul against the Junior Blues. That will push Junction City's field position from the 38 all the way past the 25-yard line of Washburn Rural.
Yeah, and it was blow to the head or somewhat like a targeting against Washburn Rural. That's a big penalty. So it'll go from the 38-yard line. And, oh, man, you talk about a short field. It's going to end up at the Washburn Rural 23.
Almost in the red zone to start this drive are the Blue Jays. With plenty of time to go here, over 7 minutes until halftime. This possession will start for Junction City with 3 wide receivers left. That is the wide side of the field. As Corey gets ready, gets the official go-ahead from Bruce Andrews. Giddens off to his right. Motion from Russell Wilkie. He is going to take a sweeping handoff to the right, turns it upfield along the right sideline, and is ushered out of bounds beyond the 20. A good first down carry for Junction City up to about the 18-yard line. So a sweep for 5 yards for Wilkie on the first play of the drive.
Yeah, good run there by Wilkie. He's got early on just 3 carries for 7 yards, but he also has the big 65-yard touchdown reception.
Same formation for Junction City. Snap to Corey. Hands it off to Giddens, who runs to the right. He gets swallowed up. Looks like his knee buckled a little bit as he went down back near the 25. Excellent play that time. The penetration from the front 7 from Washburn Rural has been tremendous in this game. That time, the second tackle for loss of the contest. Now a 3rd down and long for Junction City, all the way back to the 25.
Boy, how much has this Wild Bunch really come through for the Junior Blues defense? They got to do it once again.
7 on the play. 3rd down and 12 for Junction City. Wilkie in motion. Corey will drop back. Pumps once. Now he has to run. He takes it beyond the 25. He's got to run this time. Gets through one arm tackle, past the 20, up near the 16. And that will set up a 4th down and short for the Blue Jays. That's a good run that time. A pickup of 9 yards on the ground for Corey. Junction City has not attempted a field goal this season, and they're not about to start here. Under 6 to play. We're more than halfway through the second quarter. Junction City up 7-3. Washburn Rural trying to hold defensively again. 2-by-2 set. Speed option to the right. Corey will keep it. Turns upfield. Gets past the 15. Gets beyond the 14. And he's got enough for the first down right at the marker on the initial look.
Yeah, just the speed option. Good blocking on that right side. And they're looking at it. It looks like they're going to measure. Boy, how big is this call going to be? They're going to measure to see if this is a first down.
The nose of the ball is right about on the 13-yard line, which is the line to gain. Chain gang comes in from the far sideline to mark this one off. 5:44 on the clock.
If he gets it, it is not going to be by much.
The lead chain being repositioned. To mark it off, make sure this is exact as possible. They place the marker down. Washburn Rural is celebrating, and it is a turnover on downs. Washburn Rural holds. It's a gain of about 2 yards and 11 inches, but not quite enough for Junction City.
It was going to be depending, and you could tell it was, if it was going to get a first down, it was going to be by the nose of the ball. And guys, again, no joke, that probably was about 3 inches. It is a game of inches, but how about this Washburn Rural defense? And if you're Washburn Rural right now, here's the thing that you have to do. You got to chew up some clock because you're going to punt it. You're going to gain only probably about 25 yards. So you have to keep this ball away from the Junction City offense.
5:44 to go in the first half. Sweep handoff on first down for Washburn Rural. It's a short gain for Josh Williams. Slot receiver comes around on the sweep. He gets up to the 16-yard line, so a gain of about 3 on 1st and 10, setting up a 2nd down and 7 as the clock winds under 5.5 minutes. Washburn Rural trailing by 4, 7-3. Been sensational for Coach Steve Bueller so far in this one. 2nd down, 2 wide receivers, wide side left, Carlgren in the gun. He takes a high snap, will hand it off to Adams. Adams starts in the middle, bounces out to the right, gets to the 25, to the 30, to the 35. He is hacked from behind and brought down near the 40-yard line. An excellent run that time by Adams. He initially stepped out at the 38. Call it a gain of 22 on 2nd. First down, Washburn Rural.
Offensively from the run side, but behind Jensen and Franco, the guard and tackle on that right side. But a lot of that, McKentis Adams, once he got into that second level, well, you can see the speed. He put on the jets, and a good saving tackle for a bigger gain by Javon George.
1st and 10 for Rural. Carlgren hands it off to Adams on the RPO. Adams tries swinging around a defender. He's able to lunge ahead back to the initial line of scrimmage at the 38, but that's all. Good job that time up front. Once again, Rudy Vargas leading the charge from defensive end for Junction City.
Now, what's your option here? Most of Carlgren's 7 completions have been from the short pass. You know, Junction City's looking for it as well.
Washburn Rural slowly getting the play in from the sideline. Play clock down to 15. Game clock down to 4:22. Carlgren making sure everyone's in position. Play clock under 8. Carlgren barks up the signal. High snap. He's going to go quarterback lead behind Adams, and he's got nowhere to go. Another tackle for loss up front by Junction City. Blue Jays doing a phenomenal job getting through this offensive line. Judah Peterson, the diminutive nose guard, just 5'8", 215, but showed off some power that time getting to the quarterback. He's the first one there on the tackle. So a loss of 2 for Carlgren on the keeper to the right. And it is now 3rd down and 12. Once again, waiting for the signal from the sideline.
Yeah, I haven't called the play in yet. 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Like Jake said, Rural trying to burn off as much clock as possible.
They may call timeout.
And as they let it tick down to 5, it looks like Washburn Rural is willing to just sit on this one, burn off some clock, and set up the 3rd and long play. We will take the timeout with the two teams. Junction City leading Washburn Rural by a margin of 7-3. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Leavenworth Livestock Auction.
3:23 to go in the first half. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you in the booth at the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week here at Bowen Glaze Stadium. Washburn Rural with the ball, trailing by 4. 3rd down and 12 from their own 36. Junior Blues take the snap. Carlgren looks. Pressure comes from the left. He has to run. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Gets up to the 40, and he is dragged down with an ankle tackle. Once again, it's Corey O'Connor with the stop up at the 41-yard line. Carlgren gets a little bit more with the reach at the end of the play. It's a gain of 5, but not nearly enough for the first down. And Dayton Smoot out to punt for the second time in the second quarter.
Yeah, Rudy Vargas absolutely blew that up. He was right in the grill when Carlgren was about to throw. So he's managed to escape Vargas and got what he could, but give credit to Vargas defensively for Junction City of blowing that play up.
Washburn Rural willing to let the game clock wind down as much as possible and not allow Junction City to have much time. We're down to just about 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Blue Jays up over the Junior Blues, 7-3. Smoot gets a bouncing snap to him, has plenty of time. Rugby-style kick. It's a missile to the 32-yard line, eventually picked up by George for Junction City. He starts on the left sideline, runs back right. He is wrapped up, loses the ball as he goes to the turf. There's a scramble for it. Rural thinks they have it, and the Junior Blues do have it. However, important to note, there is a flag back behind the play at the 36-yard line. That flag may determine whose ball it is.
It's going to go against Junction City. We had at least 2 blocks in the back because when George went backwards, you could see the Junction City players, and you obviously see 2 blocks in the back like that. Boy, that's a huge, huge mistake, especially on punt returns. You don't run backwards, and that's what George was doing. Loses the ball, and now great field position. 2:14 left for Washburn Rural at the Junction City 23-yard line and 2 timeouts remaining.
Turnabout is fair play on the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week. Both teams with a miscue on a return so far in this one. 1st and 10 for the Junior Blues. Handoff up the middle and nothing doing. In fact, possibly a loss of yards on the first down carry.
That was Faker.
his first carry of the ball game. Yeah, he is dropped back at the 25, so it is a loss of 2 yards on the first play of the series.
But Brendan, I don't know about you, but with 2:05 left, given this gift, you almost feel like Washburn Rural has to score, be it field goal or a touchdown. They have to score on this.
They've got an excellent kicker in Giles Frederickson, although he'll be kicking into the wind if that situation comes up. Second down and 12. It's a sweeping give to McKentis Adams. He heads to the left, and he is devoured back near the line of scrimmage. O'Connor in on the play again, leading the charge. He has been all over the field so far in this game. Third down and long again, under 100 seconds to go. And they will say a gain of officially nothing on the play for Adams. Third down and long once again for Washburn Rural. Trailing by 4, heading to the south end zone. Carl Grin, the quarterback, waits for the play. He's got 2 receivers and a wing to the right, receiver and running back left. Takes the snap, shallow drop, pumps once to the right. Now he goes for it all, deep into the end zone. It's a jump ball, leaping and grabbing it. Touchdown, Junior Blues! Robbie Boland goes up, hauls the ball out of the air, and scores from 25 yards out. 9-7, Washburn Rural. They take the lead with 1 minute, 9 seconds to go until the break.
They haven't sprang anything deep, Brendan, but that time, Boland able to get away. Great hesitation, great look down the field by Cooper Carlgren, and an outstanding catch by Boland in the end zone to give Washburn Rural the lead.
What a pass that time by Carl Grin. Boland goes up, snatches it down. Frederickson on for the extra point, and he boots it right through. 69 seconds to go until halftime, and Washburn Rural goes up on Junction City 10-7. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back after this on the Invista Credit Union 500 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
My name is Tom.
1:09 to go in the first half. Washburn Rural 10, Junction City 7 after a 25-yard touchdown pass from Cooper Carlgren deep into the end zone to Robbie Boland. Giles Frederickson kicks it away for Washburn Rural. It's a short kick that bounces at the 25. That is a live ball before Marcelo Bussey picks it up. He is spun around near the 25-yard line. Connor Conklin comes up on special teams, makes the stop, and with 64 seconds to go until the break, Greg, Junction City has a long way to go to get in scoring range.
Yeah, and you talk about momentum, all 10 points, the field goal and the touchdown pass by Washburn Rural have come off of Junction City turnovers.
And again, both teams have made a mistake on special teams as well.
That may be a small stat, but think about that for a second. Washburn Rural potentially could be leading at halftime 10-7, but once again, the wild bunch for the Washburn Rural defense going to try and stop them here in the last 64 seconds.
Ball on the near left hash for Junction City. Motion comes from Christian Tabora. High snap over Corey's head. He has to dive on the ball. It's still loose. He's eventually able to pull it in with his left elbow. Pretty much as bad of a first play of the drive as Junction City could have at that juncture. We're down to 50 seconds to go in the second quarter, and the Blue Jays are moving backwards while trailing by 3.
Well, that was nowhere near anywhere by Corey.
They're going to call that, Greg, a loss of 10 on the high snap. Down to 35 seconds. 3 receivers right. Corey takes the snap. Short roll to the right. Throws it over in that direction. He completes it to Marcelo Bussey, who turns upfield. Gets to the 35. Puts out the stiff arm. Gets to the 40. 45, and he's pushed out of bounds. Loses the ball as he gets to the boundary. Gets a huge gainer that time. And with 24 seconds left on the clock here in the half, Junction City is all of a sudden in business all the way up to the Washburn Rural In fact, they'll call it midfield. It looked initially like the 49, but they'll call it midfield.
36 yards on the reception, 99 yards on 3 catches for Bussey.
3 receivers to the wide side right again. Corey takes it. Bubble screen to the outside, completes it to Wilkie. Passes midfield, tries cutting inside, and he is wrapped up and brought to the turf. Flag comes in late, way from back in the secondary.
I think they're going to get a late hit against Washburn Rural. That was on the tackle. I think someone came in late for the Junior Blues.
The pass was going to be a gain of just about 3 yards, but the personal foul will move the ball deep now into Washburn Rural territory with 16 seconds on the clock. Jake LeBon, did you see who the guilty party was on that late hit?
I think it was the free safety. I didn't quite see the number, but no question it was late. I almost thought that the ball popped out. That's why I thought the Washburn Rural Junior Blue player went into the pile late, but no question the back judge ended up throwing it from about 30 yards away. And that may be, depending upon what we know of the Junction City kicker, that could get them into field goal range, considering, again, it is gusting up to 20 miles per hour here at Bowen Glaze Stadium. If you get to maybe the 20, you could probably try, a 37, 38-yard field goal and probably have pretty enough leg to get it done.
From the 47-yard line where that play ended all the way up to the Washburn Rural 32, Junction City has it 16 seconds on the clock, trailing 10-7 against Washburn Rural. Let's get some station identification for you. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 5 Prep Game of the Week on Country 106.9. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you at Bowen Glaze Stadium. Our field reporter tonight is Jake LeBon. Our producer-engineer back at the Alpha Media Studios is Marco Marquez. Washburn Rural 1-2 on the season, facing 2-1 Junction City with a 10-7 lead, but the Junction City Blue Jays are on the march once again. Ball on the far right hash at the 32-yard line of Rural. Again, just 16 seconds on the clock. 1 wide receiver to the left, that's Goggins. A trips bunch on the short side right, DJ Giddens in the backfield. He switches from right to left next to Corey. Corey takes the snap, bubble screen to the outside, short completion. He finds Russell Wilkie, who gets out of bounds, but only gains a minuscule amount of yardage. Officially put down right at the line to gain, or the line of scrimmage. No gain, back to the 32-yard line, and 4 seconds come off the clock. 12 seconds until halftime now. The 3 receivers switch from right to left. Now a spread out trip to the left wide side. Giddens also to the left of Corey. He takes the snap, makes spins back right, comes, he has to step up, and he's on the run. To the 25, to the 20. Corey heads to the sideline at the 15 with 5 seconds on the clock. What a smart play by the senior quarterback for the Blue Jays, and he gets Junction City up to the 15-yard line.
Gain of 16 yards on the play, and boy, everyone went deep. Corey saw that, had a lot of real estate, but realized he needed to get out of bounds. Obviously, not a lot of faith in their kicking, so this is probably going to be the last play unless they can get something real quick.
Junction City does still have a timeout in its pocket. Aiden Field, the kicker, has not attempted a field goal all season. Trips left, that's the wide side of the field. Corey takes it, spins in the backfield, throws it to the front corner of the end zone. He misses Marcelo Bussey, but there's 1 second on the clock. Junction City will get 1 more shot at points before the end of the first half. Corey threw that one too high in the front right corner of the end zone. He was going for Bussey, the 6-foot receiver, but a little too high and a little too strong.
Now they're going to try field goal.
Aiden Field will get a chance to prove his worth as a place kicker. He will line up from the right hash. The hold will be placed down at the 24-yard line. So call it a 34-yard field goal attempt for Field, his first of the season, 1 on the clock. High snap. The hold is down, and the kick is blocked by the Junior Blues. The blocked ball will bounce over to the sideline. Rural recovers it. Time expires on the first half, and what an exclamation point on the opening 24 minutes for Steve Bueller's Wild Bunch defense. Turnovers, taking advantage on special teams, and a blocked field goal will send us to halftime. Washburn Rural with a 10-7 lead over the 2-1 Junction City Blue Jays. When we come back after this 2-minute break for our halftime coverage tonight, we'll get you a scoring summary from the first half of this exciting game. Craig will have your statistical update and some scores from around Northeast Kansas.
really on this first drive. You'd like to see a lot of movement down the field.
Nose of the ball at the 27, placed on the far left hash for Washburn Rural. It's a first down handoff to McKentis Adams. Didn't do much in the first half, but sprints beyond the 30, right between the tackles, and a good gain on first down from the 27 to the 32. A gain of 5 for Adams on the first play of the third quarter.
Last 4 carries, he's had 27 yards, had a 22-yarder late in the first half, the longest run for Washburn Rural in this game.
Now with the second down and manageable, 2nd and 5 to go. Single receiver to the right is Bolin, who has the touchdown grab for Rural in this game. One receiver isolated left as well. Adams in the backfield. He takes the second down handoff, angles to the left, gets past the 35, jumps over a defender, and it looks like he has enough for the first down. 2 straight runs for McKentis Adams. And after the ball is placed down, they will call it 3rd and inches.
No.
And are they going to change it?
First down.
So the initial spot looked good. The placement was marked short, but then our head ref, Bruce Andrews, comes in and says, no, I've got this. Points for the first down, a gain of 5, and the Junior Blues will move the chains, already leading by 3. 10:45 on the clock. Ball now at the 37-yard line. Officials slowing things down. An equipment issue for Bolin near the right sideline. He's got to take something off his wrist and hand it to his coach. So Bolin back on the field. He's still isolated right. Hanks the wing to the right. Adams in the backfield to the left of Carlgren. Adams will take it again. Thinks about the center. Will instead bounce back to the middle of the field off right tackle and is swarmed after a gain of 1 to the 38-yard line. So 3 touches for Adams to start this third quarter. He's got 11 yards on 3 carries and sets up a 2nd and 9 for Washburn Rural.
I like the thinking here of head coach Steve Biller, trying to establish the ground game a little more here to start this second quarter. Now in a 2nd and long, let's see if this where they might spring their first pass of the second half.
Tibbetts and Bolin now to the right of the formation. Ball centered between the hashes for the Junior Blues. Adams to the right-hand side of his quarterback, Carlgren, who barks out the signals, waits for the snap, takes it, and once again a give to Adams. This time he'll scoop to the left. He has a hole back up the middle to midfield, to the 40, to the 30. Can anyone catch Adams? To the 20, to the 10. He's into the end zone. Play the fight song. Touchdown, Junior Blues. 62 yards to pay dirt for McKentis Adams. The sophomore sprints down the far sideline, and Washburn Rural extends its lead. 9:45 to go in the third.
Started to the right, off tackle, cuts it back to the left, got a couple of good blocks down the field, but after that, it was all sophomore McKentis Adams as he rolls it down the field, 62 yards for the touchdown.
Fredrickson on for the extra point. The kick is up near the upright, and he tucks it in. The left upright, up and good. 17 for Washburn Rural, 7 for Junction City, following the 62-yard touchdown by McKentis Adams. We'll take a break on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Hello, Mrs. Coons. It's the Downwind Tire Review RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to blow out on the highway later.
Welcome back to Bowen Glaze Stadium. Washburn Rural kicking away after taking a 17-7 lead over Junction City. It's a pooch kick by Giles Fredrickson for the Junior Blues, and it falls out of bounds on the fly at the 36-yard line. So the kick out of bounds is a penalty, flag thrown on it, and it will be good starting field position for Junction City. 9:45 to go in the third. Last drive capped off by a 62-yard touchdown run by sophomore McKentis Adams. Gets the touch on the first 4 plays of the third quarter and is able to extend the lead for the Junior Blues. Because of the flag and the kick out of bounds, the ball will be placed at the 37 for Junction City. That's where the Blue Jays will take over. 9:45 on the clock. Andrew Corey, starting senior quarterback for Junction. Behind center, his running back, DJ Giddens, switches from his right side to his left. 1 receiver to the left, 3 to the right. Fake hand up behind the back by Corey. Now he's going to move off to his left, has to roll to the sideline, throws against the grain. He's got a completion to Russell Wilkie at the 45, breaks 1 tackle, all the way to the 30, to the 20. Wilkie with a foot race to the end zone, gets past 1 defender, breaks a tackle, and he's in! 1 play, 63 yards, and Junction City is right back in this one. Russell Wilkie, another deep touchdown, and Junction City cuts it down to a 4-point game with the extra point coming.
We've talked a lot, Brendan, how dangerous this Junction City offense can be. And boy, a mid-range pass of about 20 yards to Russell Wilkie. And then Wilkie gets 1 key block, and then he does the rest, getting it in for the touchdown.
Aiden Field with the extra point attempt. It's a firm kick between the uprights, up and good. 17-14. Back and forth these teams go. Washburn Rural still up 3. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Rush and flying wide open on glassy water at 5 a.m. with the first 2. In the glass, just bright green spinnerbait that ironically matches your second 2.
Welcome back to Bowen Glaze Stadium, the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akaki with you. 9:30 to go in the third. Junction City with a 63-yard touchdown cuts the Washburn Rural lead to 17-14. Josh Williams receives the ensuing kickoff at the 10, cuts upfield at the 20. He almost breaks a deep return. He gets beyond the 30 and is tripped up at the 32-yard line. Excellent return by Josh Williams for the Junior Blues. It has been an eventful start to this second half. Washburn Rural takes over at its own 32-yard line, leading by 3.
Boy, I tell you what, that could have been a big play right there. Now, with momentum just kind of shifting back and forth here, what answer does Washburn have on this second offensive possession?
First down snap is a handoff to McKentis Adams. Patient run looking for a hole in the middle of the field. He doesn't find much of one. He'll gain approximately 1.5 yards. A favorable spot will give him 2. So a short gain by McKentis Adams on first down. His previous carry before that was a 62-yard touchdown run. And we now have an injured player down for the Blue Jays. It's junior linebacker Keegan McConnell. A little slow to get up. Trainer for Junction City out on the field to check on him.
By the way, on that 62-yard touchdown run, McKentis Adams did go over the 100-yard mark for the game rushing-wise. Now he has 103 yards rushing on 13 carries,
which officially doubles his season output to this point. He came into this game with 103 yards for the season. Now he's got 103 just tonight.
But Andrew Corey, how about this stat line? 7 of 14 for 231 yards. He has 3, if I got that right, he has 3 receptions of over 50 yards, or 3 passes for over 50 yards tonight, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception.
McConnell's able to go off the field under his own power. 9:05 on the clock here in the third. Washburn Rural facing a 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard run by Adams. 2 receivers to the left, wing to the right is Hanks. Adams still in the backfield. And once again, he takes the handoff, bounces it to the right side, and he is hit right away. Xavier Belton comes up, meets him shoulder to the solar plexus, and nothing doing that time for Adams. Stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the 2nd down carry. 3rd down and 8 now for the Junior Blues.
Junction City, boy, they do a great job of swarming to the football. He tried to turn back, but about 3 or 4 going up against one being McKentis Adams. And now big play right here for Washburn Rural facing 3rd and 8.
Bolin now alone on the right. Williams slot left. Tibbetts far left. Adams in the backfield. 3rd down and 8. 8:20 on the clock. Carlgren looks. He's got time. Throws short to the outside. Looks for his H-back, Lucas Hanks, but leads him a little bit too far. The ball goes off his fingertips and is incomplete. 4th down and 8 now for the Junior Blues, up by 3. Washburn Rural slow to change position groups, but eventually Dayton Smoot and the punt team come out for Rural. So not much time coming off the clock on that possession for the Blues.
Now, the previous punt Washburn Rural had, the snap bounced to Smoot. He was able to pick it up and get that punt away. But watch it here, especially with the momentum on Junction City side.
Bussey and Wilkie back to return for Junction City. Another low step, a 2-hopper this time to Smoot. Another rugby-style kick, and he gets it away. It bounces at the 42. It's a loose ball. It bounces off of Wilkie. Who's got it? Junior Blues say they recover, and they do! The 3rd takeaway of the ball game. The 2nd time on special teams, Junior Blues take over in plus territory.
Well, now Junction City. No, Washburn Rural, Junction City thought they had it. Boy, that was a grave mistake. Jake LeBon Wilkie tried to get that. It was almost like an infielder trying to catch a short hop. If you don't get it, boy, that's what the ball's going to do, is just bounce away from you.
And you're surprised that would happen from a senior like Wilkie who knows better. And that's one where the wind is, it's a 25-mile-an-hour wind right now. It is gusting big time. There's no reason to even catch the football. It's not going to go any further. Very surprised at that. And the officials got together to maybe discuss, did he actually touch it? You bet he did. Good play by Rural.
Rural has already converted after 2 turnovers by Junction City. 1st down and 10. Hand off to Adams. He is hit right away, but bounces off the tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and is wrapped up again. Adams stays on his feet. Immediate hit once he took the handoff from Carlgren, but he bounces off the 2nd contact, but still isn't able to gain anything out of it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a half a yard.
Yeah, they're going to have to find another option here, because right now this Junction City defense keying a lot on McKentis Adams. They were ready for it there, and Adams bouncing off the tackle, still couldn't get anything, just about a half yard short of the line of scrimmage.
7.5 to go in the 3rd period. Washburn Rural with the ball, leading 17-14. Ball at the 45. Carlgren in the gun, gets motion from Williams. Williams is going to take it on a fly sweep, gets to the outside, past the line of scrimmage to the 40, up to the 35. He is blasted as he approaches the 30-yard line. A gigantic hit that time by Javon George, who's been a ball hawk all season, lays the wood on that hit for Junction City, but not before 17 yards on the sweep by Josh Williams.
Yeah, that was a good call. Getting away from Adams, get something to the outside, and that's a big hit there. Javon George did lay it right to the chops of Adams, but hey, it goes for naught because they get the 1st down.
2 wide receivers to the right of the formation, split out wide for Rural. Carlgren has the ball centered for him on the near side right hash. Takes a snap in the gun. Fakes a handoff. He'll keep it. Gets past the line, and eventually he is swallowed up. Michael Boganowski comes up. The freshman outside linebacker. You heard Randall Zimmerman talk about him during our pregame interview. Junction City really likes what they see out of the 6'1 freshman. He makes the stop that time after a short carry by Carlgren.
Not a well-executed fake either, trying to do the read option, but really Carlgren not even close to McKentis Adams, so they keep their key on Cooper Carlgren. He manages, actually they gave him more than I thought.
I think the final big hit there from Boganowski pushed him ahead for a couple extra yards. So call it a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 now. Ball still in the near hash for Washburn Rural. Sweet motion coming. Carlgren will keep it, and Carlgren is dropped. Sacked by Keegan McConnell, who had to leave the field due to a minor injury earlier in this quarter. He comes back with a vengeance and sacks Carlgren, who never felt the pressure from his blind side.
No, absolutely not. He came in untouched.
Loss of 6 on the play.
There is no way Carlgren can get away from that. Once again, this is definite 2-down territory. It may be just out of the range of Giles Fredrickson. Right there where it is, you'd be looking at a 50-yard field goal into the wind.
That was a loss of 6 on the sack by McConnell, his first of the year.
9 on the play clock as well.
That keeps ticking away. 5:40 on the game clock. Carlgren waits for the snap, takes it with 3 on the play clock, gets a handoff to Adams, makes one jump cut, gets back to the 30-yard line, but eventually a group of Blue Jays, 4 of them in fact, are able to push him back. Forward progress will grant him the 32. So not much gained there, just a yard. It was a deep handoff in the backfield. It ends up netting just 1 yard on the carry. Like you said, Greg, really long field goal attempt from here, so the offense will stay out for the Junior Blues. Leading by 3, ball at the 32-yard line. The line to gain is the 20. 2 receivers left, Tibbetts and Bolin. The wing to the right is Hanks. Adams in the backfield. Carlgren takes in the gun. Short drop. Throws it deep. He's got a man open. Bolin on the left seam. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Junior Blues. 4th down and 12. Carlgren with an absolute dime. 20 yards down the field. Bolin does the rest, and the Junior Blues extend their lead again. 23-14. 4:50 to go in the third.
Jake, that was a big-time blown coverage by Junction City.
And it was 4 verticals is what it was. Every single receiver just running a vertical. And the best part about this was they were in cover 3, so each deep safety and corner had a third of the field. Well, you got the corner, had to choose. Do you go with the far wide side wide receiver or the inside one? The safety nowhere near, and you couldn't ask for a better situation if you're rural and Junction City with a completely botched coverage.
A tremendous throw that time by Carlgren. Had the man wide open, found him, and they were able to convert for the score. Extra point up and good as well for Giles Fredrickson, who did that through while Jake was breaking that down. So with that, it is 24-14. Washburn Rural entering this game at 1-2 on the year, back home for the second week in a row after 2 straight road games to start the year, with a 10-point lead over 2-1 Junction City late in the third quarter.
Boy, you could absolutely not ask for a better situation. Points off turnovers, converting 4th and longs too, Brendan. 4th and 12. And they're able to get points. That's the biggest thing.
How about 17 points off of 3 turnovers so far for Washburn Rural, taking advantage of the mistakes made by Junction City. Fredrickson now gets ready for the kickoff. He approaches with his right foot. Another high kick, short, and again, it flies out of bounds. This time beyond the 30, clearly Washburn Rural does not want to give those speedsters in the deep backfield for Junction City any chance to return a kick. And now 2 times in a row, Fredrickson has punched the ball out of bounds with his right foot. With the penalty, good field position coming for Junction City. Our officials marking it off at the 35-yard line on the near left hash as the Blue Jays move from right to left toward the north end zone. 4:50 to go in the third quarter. 65 yards to pay dirt for Junction City. Corey in the gun. 3 receivers to the right. That's the wide side of the field. He'll boot to the right on the first down snap. Looking down the field, has a man. It's wide open. Russell Wilkie at midfield. He turns it up, gets to the 40, puts his head down, extends for a couple extra yards, and gets all the way to the 38-yard line. How about that for a first down play? 27 yards to Russell Wilkie. They have been just abusing this Washburn Rural defense on those crossers by Wilkie.
257 yards passing, 157 yards receiving for Russell Wilkie on 5 receptions tonight.
Who last week had 128 total yards from scrimmage. Under 4.5 to go in the period. Rural up 24-14, but Junction City on the move. First down and 10. Trips bunch to the right for Corey. Takes the snap, takes the handoff. Now he'll boot to the left. Pressure comes from the right. Throws it back over the middle. Misses his target, Wilkie. And the safety, Bolin, was prowling in the middle of the field. Couldn't haul in the interception, but it's still an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 coming for the Blue Jays.
That's the 3rd or 4th pass, and Andrew. I called you, Andrew, Brendan, that he's thrown behind his receiver. That one dangerous, though. Well, that was in an area where it could have easily been intercepted.
When you throw low and away from a target, usually it'll just fall incomplete. But when you throw high like that, you're really risking a turnover, and Junction City has already struggled with those tonight. Now, second down and 10, 3 receivers to the left side of the formation. Snap to Corey. Corey will give it off up the middle to DJ Giddens, who's got a hole. First down and more as he bounces to the right, gets beyond the 25-yard line. Excellent run by Junction City. In fact, they will mark him out of bounds at the 25. So a gain of 14 on second and 10. That is the first time all night, Greg, that DJ Giddens has been able to get anything working on the ground.
Yeah, that was a great call after going pass like that, changing it up. Because Washburn Rural more in a pass defense instead of a run defense, and Giddens was able to get his biggest run of the night of 14 yards.
Same formation, 3 wide receivers, wide side left. Giddens in the backfield to the left of Corey. Corey takes it, designed boot to the left. He wants it all. Looking down the field, will throw it underneath instead to Wilkie. Wilkie at the 10, tucks it up. He makes contact inside the 5, and he is down at the 1. It was Davion Maltby in coverage who put his shoulders into Wilkie, slowed him up just enough, but Junction City is able to pick up a bunch of yards, 24 of them, and sets up a first and goal from the 1.
Well, that pass has been open in the flat. They send. Oh, here we go with the play.
Quick snap on first and goal. Touchdown, Junction City. DJ Giddens angles a run to the right, gets behind a great block on that right side of the line, and he's in for the touchdown. And once again, Junction City cuts it down to a 1-score game on the Giddens run.
Yeah, that pass has been open all night to Russell Wilkie, showing 6 receptions, 181 yards. Got it down to the 1, and Giddens gets it in for the score.
And we've got the extra point attempt up, and it went through the uprights, but a flag is on the play.
Washburn Rural, only question was, nope, he did not jump, or he did not get drawn offsides. It'll be a half the distance to the goal. But the play is ruled dead, so the kick was up and good, but the play was ruled dead.
So Aiden Field will get another chance from 1 yard closer. 3:47 to go in the third. 24-20, Rural with the lead. Now a 19-yard extra point attempt coming for Aiden Field. Waits for the snap. It's a good one. The hold is down. The kick is up and blocked again by Rural. Washburn Rural with 2 blocked kicks in this game, and they're able to keep it a 4-point differential, 24-20, late in the third quarter. We'll be back after this. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 5-Day Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
3:47 to go in the third quarter. Washburn Rural with a 24-20 lead over Junction City. Junction just scored on a 1-yard touchdown run by DJ Giddens, but had the extra point blocked. That's 2 blocked kicks by the Rural special teams tonight. And the Junior Blues will take over again in this high-scoring third quarter. Aiden Field's kick bounces inside the 10, another time inside the 5, but will check into the end zone for a touchback for Washburn Rural. And the Junior Blues will take over at their own 20-yard line.
Boy, Brendan, if you look at this third quarter and a wild one, it has been ebb and flow as far as the momentum is concerned. That's the biggest thing right here. Washburn Rural takes it. Junction City takes it back. Washburn Rural takes it. Junction City has just taken it right back. So it's the ball, so to speak, is back into the court of Washburn Rural, as whether they can take back some of the momentum Junction City has gained.
On a blustery night here in Southwest Topeka, 2 receivers left, 1 and wing to the right, plus Adams, the running back, to the right. Motion comes from Josh Williams, and he takes the handoff and is dropped in the backfield. That play was dead on arrival for the Junior Blues. Junction City won't get fooled by that again. It's a loss of 2 on the sweep carry by the slot back.
Yeah, you got that right. They snuck that out early.
2nd and 12 now coming up, and eating up some clock, Greg, is going to be huge here for Washburn Rural. Junction City has had 2 offensive possessions in this half. They've scored 2 touchdowns. It's taken 1:18 off the clock between the 2 drives. 3:15 to go into this 3rd quarter. Washburn Rural already in milk the clock mode. We're down under 15 to go on the play clock before Carl Grin gets his team set. Now he gets motion from Williams again. Williams this time will get a fake handoff. Carl Grin keeps it, and he goes nowhere. Maybe a yard as he trips forward over the linebacker Felton. But a 3rd down and 11 now coming up after the minimal gain by the quarterback.
Yeah, Xavier Felton held responsibility, didn't bite on the fake. That was going a fake jet sweep to the left, or going right to left. And then Carlgren kept it himself, but Felton was right there, didn't let Carlgren out of his circle, and was able to get it for just a 1-yard gain.
Under 2.5 left in the 3rd. Rural facing 3rd and 11 up 4. Carlgren pumps, pressure comes, and he has to slip ahead. He trips as he tries to get past the line. He's going to lose a yard as he bounces off the turf, and that was not what Steve Bueller was hoping for, Greg, in terms of his offense. On 3rd down and 11, they lose a yard. Carlgren favoring his arm a little bit. He'll jog off the field as Smoot, the punter, comes out for the 3rd time.
Yeah, operating deep in your own territory. And the last 2 punt attempts, we have seen a bounced snap. The last one late in the first half and the first one here in the 3rd quarter. Smoot has been able to pick them up cleanly, but you'd rather not have it for a 3rd time in a row because somewhere your luck may run out.
Under 100 seconds to go in the 3rd. Again, Rural up by 4, but Junction City has scored quickly in this 3rd quarter, done it twice. They're only down by 4 points. Smoot waits as the play clock ticks under 10. Call it 8. Call it 6. This time a good snap to Smoot. Gets away the rugby kick. End over end. Takes a good bounce from Washburn Rural. Bounces at midfield. Rolls all the way inside the Junction City 40. And it will die down at the 39-yard line. It is downed on the play. And Junction City will take over at its own 39. A great punt that time.
43-yard punt by Smoot. Did a great job, rugby style, getting it end over end, really to where the receiver could not get it. That's probably the best you could ask for right there. Still decent starting position, but you'll take that over a possible punt block, a bad snap, or anything like that. That was a strong snap right to Smoot, the punter.
Minute 12 to go in the quarter. 4-point lead for Rural, but Junction takes over. 2-by-2 stack. Now motion comes. It's a motion handoff on 1st down. They give it to TJ Jones, his first carry of the game. Gets to the right sideline. He is wrapped up, held by the shoulder, and slung out of bounds all the way near midfield. He is marked out exactly at the 50-yard line. It's a gain of 12 on 1st down, and it moves the chains once again for Junction City on the sophomore Jones's first carry of the game.
Yeah, that's a good change of pace there. Jones using his speed to get to the outside. Junction City, or Washburn Rural, playing a little back on their heels, knowing how much they've been torched on the pass defensively.
Trips to the wide side left on 1st down. Corey fakes the handoff. Now throws deep down the field. He's got a man open. It's Bussy cutting to the 30. Turns up at the 25. He eventually is carried across the 20-yard line, but a big gain for Marcelo Bussy. All the way to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 31 through the air. The Blue Jays are in business again late in the 3rd quarter. 55 seconds on the clock.
31 yards, 130 yards on 4 receptions for Bussy. 306 yards passing on 10 completions by Andrew Corey tonight.
2 plays, 43 yards on this drive for Junction. 2 receivers in the formation on either side again. Another sweep to Jones. This time he has to back up. Now turns upfield again at the 20. We've got a flag on the play after Jones hit the corner on the right side. Gains decent yardage on 1st down, but this flag is in the area of a hold on the run.
Yeah, it's got to be a hold on that receiver, trying to keep the defender off of him. It is marked at the 15-yard line. So give Jones a 4-yard run, but That's going to move the ball back from the 15 back to the 25-yard line.
So a break that time for Washburn Rural with 49 seconds left in the quarter, leading by 4. Play clock begins for Junction City. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right is Bussey. Get into the backfield on the left-hand side of Corey. Corey takes it. Roll to the left on the design. Throws to the outside. He's got a man. Jones catches at the 12. Turns it up. Gets to the 5. Thrown down to the ground. Connor Conklin saves the tackle, but TJ Jones, the sophomore, getting involved here late in the third quarter, gets all the way down to the 3-yard line with a 22-yard reception. They make up for the penalty yardage on the hole. Now they're racing right back to the line. 2 receivers to the right. Giddens in the backfield. 30 seconds on the clock. Corey waits, takes the snap. It is kept. Throws to a wide open man on the right side of the end zone. Marcelo Bussey is left completely uncovered. He is open for the touchdown pass. And with 28 seconds to go in the third, Junction City back on top, 26-24.
Well, they left him wide open. They got the score in before the end of the third quarter. That's the 5th score here in this quarter alone between the two teams.
Kick team running onto the field for Junction. The last extra point attempt by Aiden Field was blocked. He also has had a field goal blocked in this game. Burrow will bring the heat again. Extra point comes. We've got movement along the line and another penalty against the Junior Blues. They broke the line, although they might be arguing that there was a flinch on the left side of the blocking group for Junction City. They will not get the benefit of the doubt for that argument, though, and the ball will be moved a yard closer to the line to gain. So the touchdown pass from Andrew Corey to Marcelo Bussey that set up this extra point took a grand total of 44 seconds off the clock. As Field gets ready for the short extra point. Snap comes. It's high. Hold is down. The kick is up. This time, Field is able to put it right between the uprights. We will keep it here after the score as the third quarter is about to come to a close. 3 touchdowns in 3 drives for Junction City. Those drives have taken, Greg, a grand total of 10 plays and have taken times of 15 seconds, 1 minute and 3 seconds, and 44 seconds.
And you can see why this offense of Junction City is more than capable of doing what they're doing. The pass to Jones, by the way, was the only 3rd receiver of the night. All other Andrew Corey's passes have either gone to Wilkie or Bussey, which is not a bad thing because they have over 300 yards in receptions. Andrew Corey on the night, he is 12 of 20 for 331 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night. Boy, he has had his way right now with this defensive backfield for Washburn Rural.
Came into this one with 767 yards on the year. That total is going to look all the much more gaudy coming up at the end of this one. We'll talk to our field reporter, Jake LeBon, in just a minute after we get you this kickoff. As Field has it positioned on the 40-yard line on the far right hash, kicking from right to left. And he sends it away. It is a low wobbler. It checks up at the 30, right into the midst of Lucas Hanks, who just dives on it at the 30-yard line. So Washburn Rural will take over there. 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Let's send it to our field reporter now, Jake LeBon.
It's the same play over and over again that Washburn Rural is running. You take the handoff and you drop back and you find Wilkie running wide open across the middle. There's some type of coverage breakdown. It's a zone defense that Washburn Rural is running, and Wilkie's just running right through. It'll be interesting to see if that will work going into that 25-mile-an-hour wind in the fourth quarter.
First down snap to Carl Grin. He hands it off to McKentis Adams, who just runs right into a mass of humanity. Gets to the 31-yard line and nothing beyond that. The final seconds of this third quarter are going to tick off the clock. Washburn Rural will start the fourth quarter with the ball, trailing by 3 in what has been a sensational Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week. Put your 4 fingers up in the air. We're headed to the final period of the game. We'll take a timeout. Be back after this. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week on Country 106.9.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me now? I'm on the Junction farm in a very important section called an impact trauma. To explain the importance, we have to go back in time.
2-year-old ones. Another reason is that Midland Exteriors is offering free installation when you buy at least 5 Infinity from Marvin Windows. Plus, qualified buyers can get no interest and no payments for up to 18 months. Get ahead of old man winter and look forward to some cozy days inside with your new Infinity from Marvin Windows. Call Midland Exteriors for free installation, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months on 5 Infinity from Marvin Windows.
I have a grandson in 8th grade, and we have already been discussing the possibilities of colleges. How much will it cost, and how do we save? We look at Invista College Roadmap to go over the details and start the conversation about college. It's easy to find all we need. The Scholarship Finder and checklists are great resources for my grandson to dream about where he would want to end up. And
10 seconds.
Realizar sus sueños.
Switch to prepared with Invista College Roadmap. Visit InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com to find out more.
Insured by NCUA.
Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you at Bowen Glaze Stadium. Washburn Rural trailing Junction City 27-24, 2:51 to play. Junction City has a first down and 10 at the rural 13-yard line, immediately following a 32-yard run by Russell Wilkie for the Blue Jays. Rural still has 2 timeouts after using that first one. Blue Jays, even with the clock stopped, are in no hurry. DJ Giddens to the right of Andrew Corey. Corey takes the shotgun snap, hands to Giddens, goes right up the hole, bursts through, gets to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Junction City. 2:46 to play, and that is a back-breaking score by the Blue Jays. 33-24, Junction City with the lead over Washburn Rural.
Boy, Giddens kind of unsung tonight as far as what he's been able to do offensively for Junction City, getting the score late with 2:46 left to go. A quick runner and a powerful runner on that play as well.
Extra point attempt coming for Aiden Field. He spins it up and inside the left upright, good. With the extra point. Junction City 34, Washburn Rural 24, 2:46 to go. And Greg, we mentioned it. You could hold Junction City there to a field goal and still have a puncher's chance for sure. But down by 10, 2 timeouts, 2:46 to play. It is an uphill climb to say the least for Steve Bueller's Junior Blues.
And you got a quarterback in Cooper Krogren. The last 2 offensive plays that they run were for big-time sacks. And so you got a quarterback who, in essence, running for his life on that frame there. One probably more of his doing, but the other one had no chance whatsoever. So it's 1-2 that Krogren will need to keep his head up, keep his confidence up to try and lead this team back to a quick score down by 10.
The first 3 touchdown drives of this second half for Junction City, their first 3 drives of the half, took a grand total of 2 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. That scoring drive right there, 8 plays, 4:16 burned off of the game clock. But Washburn Rural does still have a chance and will be getting the ball. Aiden Field approaches for Junction City. It's a squib kick that bounces to the 38-yard line. Rural will fall on it and take over possession right there. So the Blues still have 2:46 on the clock. And here comes Cooper Karlgren and the rest of the offense. They need a score, and they need to score quickly, and if possible, to preserve their timeouts. They've only got 2 of them left. From their own 38-yard line. Karlgren sets up the offense from the gun. Empty set, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Karlgren backs up, throws short, has Lucas Hanks, but Hanks is tackled inbounds at the 43-yard line. So a gain of 5, but Rural's got to hurry here. Again, the clock is not their friend after the short gain. Another empty set look for the Junior Blues. Once again, 3 targets to the right, 2 to the wide side left. Karlgren takes it, short drop back. Looks to the right sideline. Now evades that way. Throws down the sideline. Complete. Josh Williams at the 40. Stutter step. And he's up to the 39-yard line. An 18-yard completion and out of bounds. Karlgren to Josh Williams. First down, Junior Blues. Inside the 40-yard line of Junction City.
Yeah, Williams turned inside. Thought he could get more yardage. Realized how close he was to the sideline, but preserved the time. Got out of bounds with 2:18 left.
Washburn Rural down by 10. Karlgren takes it. This time it's a boot to the left. Stops, throws over the middle. Complete to Hanks. Hanks past the 25. Stays on his feet, fighting for extra yardage. Gets to the 23. 8 seconds come off the clock that time. 16-yard gain over the middle. Washburn Rural is in business. After they reset the chains, down to 2:05 and counting on the clock. Now a bunch of 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. We've got a timeout called on the field. It's called by Junction City. Blue Jays with a 2-score lead are able to use the clock and rest up a little bit here.
Let's give you some updated scores. Fourth quarter, Seaman leading Topeka West 52-14. Fourth quarter, Manhattan 42, Topeka High 6. Finals, Wamego 41, Atchison 7. Riley County 41, Clay Center 12. Yikes. Silver Lake 96, Oskaloosa nothing. Santa Fe Trail 48, Osawatomie 22.
That Silver Lake score is going to turn some heads tomorrow morning, I have to imagine.
By the way, on our sister station, 580 WIBW, in Royals action, bottom of the 7th inning, Kansas City leading Detroit 3-2.
Royals looking for their 4th win in 5 games. Meanwhile, here with 2:01 to play, after the timeout by the Junction City defense, Washburn Rural has it. 23 of Junction. 2:01 to play. Junior Blues down by 10. Empty set for Carlgren. Designed roll to the right. Now he looks back left. Throws for the end zone. Throws for Bolin. It's a jump ball and just through his hands. The jump ball for the junior Bolin worked once in this game for a touchdown, but they can't convert this time. Ontarius Hill, the 6'2 senior, using his size to his advantage, gets in the way of Bolin and forces the incompletion.
But man, oh man, Brendan, that was right through Bolin's hands. If he just would have squeezed, it might have stayed in his hands for the touchdown.
1:56 to go. Ball centered between the hashes at the 23. Carlgren has it. Short drop. Pressure comes from the right. He's wrapped up with nowhere to go. The sack comes from the right side of the formation. Michael Boganowski, the freshman outside linebacker, with another tackle for loss. He gets the sack, and Washburn Rural's got to burn a timeout.
All right, Boganowski, boy, a freshman who's going to be in this program another 3 years. Outstanding play. Carlgren tried to turn, but Boganowski was right there in his grill to get the sack.
That is the 4th sack of this second half for the Junction City defense, for a grand total of 36 yards lost. And now on this drive and the previous drive for the Junior Blues, all 3 of those involved in those 2 drives, I should say, come with a significant cost. We now have 110 seconds left, 1:50. It's a 10-point lead for Junction City. Washburn Rural with the ball facing a 3rd down and 17. Now you can, Greg, on this drive, kick a field goal if you're in range and still be alive in this game. You do need 2 scores.
Yeah, and you don't have to you can get a first down, so you don't have to get big chunk. You want to get at least half of this back.
3rd and 17 from the 31. Pressure from the right again. Carlgren looking, has to dump it underneath, completes the pass, and a decent gain right here for Washburn Rural. Past the 20, past the 15, down inside the 10, down near the 5-yard line. Amir Sabarini, his 2nd catch of the game, but there is laundry on the field.
Oh, this will be killer.
It depends on the penalty and depends what happened. The flag was near the spot of the tackle at the 5. Junction City pointing back at Washburn Rural after the 26-yard gain by Sabarini, and the penalty is called against the Blue Jays. A penalty on the tackle at the end of the play will move the ball half the distance to the goal.
26 yards on the pass. Tack on another 2.
So it's a personal foul call on the tackle. 2.5 yards to go, 100 seconds left. Junior Blues with it, empty set. The clock is ticking. 10-point game. Carlgren takes it, rolls right, turns upfield, puts his head down. He is not able to get in. Now he is.
Somebody thought it was a fumble.
Junction City wanted a fumble call. The linesman calls for touchdown, and that will be the ruling. Washburn Rural, despite the confusion, despite the mess on those last 2 plays, gets into the end zone, cuts it to a one-score game with 90 seconds to play. Carlgren tucks and runs, gets the touchdown, and now a very significant extra point here for the Junior Blues. To cut it to 3, low snap, it's botched! Carlgren can't hold the low snap, and it stays a 4-point game. So Carlgren takes it in from 3 yards out, but they fail on the extra point attempt. So it stays 34-30 with a minute and a half to play.
Well, Jake Levon, quite the second half we're having here.
It's a complete reversal from the first half. Defense dominating in the first half, nobody making any plays in the second half. Nothing but offense here in this second half. And gosh, you want to talk about key plays in this second half. One, the holding call on Junction City that backed them up, and Washburn had a perfect chance to tie the game with a field goal, but 2 sacks by Junction City. That, to me, that little sequence there is the biggest aspect of this second half.
Now with a minute 30 to play, it is an obvious onside kick situation for the Junior Blues. If they get it, they're down by 4 and have a shot with 1 timeout. If they don't, the maximum they'll have after a couple Junction City plays is about 5 seconds. Fredrickson gets ready. He approaches slowly, and he chops it over to the right side. Fight for the ball. It's touched at midfield, but who touched it first? It was Washburn Rural, short of the mark. Rural jumps on it, but a flag comes down at about the 49-yard line. And if the Junior Blues touched it early, they're going to have to try again.
Yeah, Jake, I think Washburn Rural touched it early.
And they got a little bit aggressive trying to go after it. They would have waited 1 yard. I mean, we're talking it went 9 yards, but yes, Washburn Rural did touch it first, so it will be Junction City ball right there at the Washburn Rural 49-yard line. Now, Washburn Rural does have 2 timeouts left, but that pretty much, as you said, Brennan, gives them the football maybe with about 5 seconds left. In fact, you could actually probably kneel it out, on third down, and that will probably do it for the ball game.
You know what that onside kick looked like? That looked like almost like the Dallas kicker in the Atlanta game. Of course, the Falcons, or at least Junction City, just didn't look at the football going, oh, should we fall on it? And unlike that, one of the dumbest special team plays or onside kick plays you'll ever see. Boy, that was close.
The opposite of just letting it roll.
Yeah.
They got a little too aggressive.
That was close.
So with the penalty, there will not be a re-kick. It will be Junction City ball at the Washburn Rural 49.
Because I think they had in high school, I think you have the option of either taking the penalty
correct,
or you can take the ball where it lies.
So with a minute 30, if you do the math, if this first play just takes mere milliseconds, Washburn Rural could have a shot for a miracle at the end, but anything more than a few seconds off the clock will dash those hopes. It's victory formation for the Blue Jays. Snap to Corey. He waits before taking a knee back at the 44. A kneel down for a loss of 6 and a timeout by Washburn Rural. 2 seconds come off the clock. 1:28 to play. So the kneel will drop them back 6 yards. And now if you do the math here, 2 40-second play clocks, you knock those both off, you got 8 seconds left. If you can burn off those 8 seconds, the game comes to an end. And Junction City, no stranger to close games this season. First game of the year, a 1-point loss on the road to Bishop Carroll. Then back-to-back home games, they win by 7 over Manhattan and Seaman. Now on the road again here at Bowen Glaze Stadium in Topeka. They've got a 4-point lead and a chance to run out the clock and improve to 3-1 on the season despite a valiant effort from Washburn Rural. Junior Blues still waiting for the Blue Jays to get back out of their timeout huddle. Of course, in football, the odd shape of the ball can sometimes lead to chaos, especially when you're snapping into the shotgun. The victory formation for Junction City is in the gun. Washburn Rural hoping for a disaster for the Blue Jays. And Corey will keep it. Corey runs quarterback power to the right. That burns off plenty of time. The play clock has not started. The game clock goes under 1:20. And now, for those of you math majors out there, that spells bad news for the Washburn Rural Junior Blues defense. They cannot stop the clock. Junction City can run out the time. For those scoring at home, call that a 2-yard gain on the run by Andrew Corey, who put up gaudy numbers in this one throwing the ball. And he is going to be able to finish off the game clock and finish off the Washburn Rural Junior Blues, who put up a strong defensive effort, Greg Akagi, but it came up just short.
Yeah, absolutely. What an effort, as they're going to knock that down, or on the victory formation, down the football, and that will be it. And a hard-earned victory for Junction City tonight.
The final 25 seconds will roll off the clock without incident. And the Washburn Rural Junior Blues fall to 1-3 on the season, despite a very well-played game offensively and defensively. They come up just shy against one of the best teams in Class 6A, the Junction City Blue Jays, by a margin of 34-30. And officially, the final second ticks off. The two teams will stand on their respective sidelines, raise their helmets, raise their hands instead of shaking hands. Of course, COVID-19 precautions. And that will take us into post-game coverage here on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. When we come back after this timeout, we will get you a